Shalom. Before I get started, I want to all praise, honor, and glory to YAHAWAHSHI, YAHAWAHSHI, Rakakadash, Mr. Brother, Obaka, YAHAWAH, here with another hopeful, edifying lesson to the elect body of Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushua. Just going into this um, holiday that they will celebrate, which is which they call Christmas, which the title says it, right? I'm gonna read it. What it says behind the pagan root of the modern Christian Christmas traditions. The pagan, right? Behind the pagan roots of the modern Christmas traditions. So the title tells you, says basically what it is. It's a pagan tradition. And it has nothing to do with the Bible, and the children of Israel is forbidden, according to the law, statutes, and commandments of YAHAWAHSHI, to celebrate and to partake in pagan traditions. And Christmas is a pagan tradition, which I know a lot of so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans celebrate it. You know, this is forbidden according to the law, statutes, and commandments of YAHAWAHSHI. You know, so I'm gonna go and get into this article. It says today is Christmas. Salakia, today is Christmas Day, a connection to some of the most ancient of all known Northern European shamanic traditions. So this is a European shamanic tradition. We're going to get in this word shamanic, what this word shamanic means. So these Europeans are Edomites. You know, the European, the self-proclaimed white man, the Caucasian, are the Edomites. It's shamanic. Shamanic, it says, relating to the belief and practices associated with a shaman, a shaman, Salakia. It says, what is a shaman? Well, let's see what a shaman is. It says a person regarded as having access to and influencing the world of good and evil spirits, especially among some peoples of Northern Asia and Northern America and North America, Salakia. Typically, such people enter a trance state during a ritual and practice divination and healings, right? So it says similar words, witch doctors, traditional healer. And we know Esau is the biggest witch on the planet Earth, you know. So they practice divinations. Divination is a practice of seeking knowledge of the future or the unknown by supernatural means. So this is witchcraft and sorcery, you know. They practice these shaman, which are Europeans. They practice witchcraft and divination during this time. This is where this originated from. The shamans that practice witchcraft and sorcery, right? It says today is Christmas Day, a connection to some of the most ancient of all known Northern European shamanic traditions, like people living in the North for the millennia. We continue to embrace them with regional, national, and religious tweaks. So I'm gonna just go and get into precept. Leviticus, the 20th chapter, or charming, divinations, Santa Claus himself. Go back to the deity Moloch, right? Which we're going to get into that. Moloch is their sacrifice. Was sacrificed children to Moloch, and this is in Leviticus, right? You trace this Santa Claus character back to Moloch, and this red suit represents that deity that was set on fire, and they sacrificed children onto Moloch, right? This is on second 20, Salakia, Leviticus chapter 20 and 1. This says, "And the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Again, thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, Whosoever he be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn in Israel, that giveth any of his seed unto Moloch, he shall surely be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones," right? "And I will set my face against that man, and will cut him off from among his people, because he hath given his seed unto Moloch to defile my sanctuary and to profane my holy name." So you allowing your children to celebrate this pagan custom. It goes back even to this Moloch deity or idol in the Bible. The Lord, which the Lord prohibit or forbidden. This is for a forbidden practice, right? And there's consequences for this, right? That's why we out here speaking according to what's written, according to YAHAWAHSHI, that we should not learn the ways of the heathen, which is Jeremiah chapter 10, right? And this is a tradition of the heathen, Europeans, a shaman, right? Which is a sorcerer, basically. Practice divination and witchcraft. This is verse 3, and it says, "And I will set my face against that man, and I will cut him off from among his people, because he hath given his seed unto Moloch to defile my sanctuary and to profane my holy name. And that the people of the land do any Salakia, and that the people of the land do any ways hide their eyes from the man when he giveth his seed unto Moloch, and kill him not, then will I set my face against that man and against his family, and I will cut him off, and all that go a whoredom after him to commit whoredom with Moloch from among their people," right? So the Lord is going to cut you off, right? The warning is given out. YAHAWAHSHI is long suffering towards our people, but there's only so much, of patience the Lord is going to have. It says, "In the soul that turneth after such as have familiar spirits," right? And after wizards, a divination, right? And so like it, "In the soul that turneth after such as have familiar spirits, and after wizards, to go a whoring after them, I will even set my face against that soul, and will cut him off from among his people." So, like I said, this is a charming custom, a European charming custom. This pagan custom of tradition. This pagan tradition of Christmas. It says a shaman. A shaman is a wizard, practice divination. So if you go after wizards, sacrificing these idols of these pagan nations, the Lord's going to cut you off, right? Even your family, your whole family, the ones that follow them, This is jumping down to verse, I think it's 23. Yeah, Leviticus 20 and 23, it says, "And ye shall not walk in the manners, and ye shall not walk in the manners of the nations, which I cast out before you. For they commit all these things, and therefore I abhorred them, right? So these are the customs of the nations, right? This is what the nation practices. And you can read all these abominations that's talked about before you get to verse 23. So this is how these nations conduct themselves, bowing down to idols, committing all type of fornication, adultery, uh, eating of unclean foods, practicing witchcraft, uh, all type of abominations. These nations, that's what they do, and that's why the Lord set forth laws, statutes, and commandments for the children of Israel to go about and not practice them, right? So this word abhor means, because I've done a lesson on that before, abhor, to be grieved, abhor, to be grieved, loath, abhor, feel a loathing, abhorrence, or sickening dread, right? Abhor may basically disgust or anxious, abhor to distress, to be grieved, vexed, right? It says a definition about abhor. It says regard with disgust and hatred. So this is things that the Lord hates, the customs of the heathen. So like I said, the Lord even teach hate. So you must hate. You can hate the ways of the heathen. And Christmas is something that you can hate, right? Abhor, disgust, despise. So that's what it means. The Lord teaches hate. The Bible also teaches hate, right? Detest, be grieved, loath self, right? So you can hate these customs, abhor these customs, and disgust, you know, the ways of the heathen. So the Lord said, I'll read it again, Leviticus 20:23, and it says, "And ye shall not walk in the manners of the nation which I cast out before you, for they committed all these things, and therefore I abhorred them," right? Hated them with a disgust. He did detest them, these nations, right? I'm going to read out the Amplified Version. Verse 23, it says, "And ye shall not follow the statutes, laws, practices, customs of the nation which I am driving out before you, for they did all these things, and therefore I have loathed them," right? Right? Read on to verse 24, still out of the Amplified Version. It says, "But I have said unto you, you are to inherit and take possession of their land, and I will give it to you, and I will give it to you to possess a land of plenty, flowing with milk, a land of plenty, flowing with milk and honey. And I am the Lord Yahweh, your power, who has separated you from the peoples, the pagan nations," right? So he separated us by these laws, statutes, and commandments. And like I said in this article here, in the title it says behind the pagan roots of modern Christmas traditions. So this is a pagan tradition, right? From the European shamans, right? Which can go back to Moloch. You can trace it all the way back to Moloch, Horus, and Isis. What's this guy with? I can't think of his name from the Tower of Babel. Amen Ra, I think this is his name. It might not be him, but I think I can't remember. It's not coming to mind. But these are customs or practices of the heathen. He says it occurred during the week of the shortest day and the longest night of the year in the northern hemisphere, when ancient holy men and women lit Yule logs to push back the darkness and implore the gods and nature to bring back the light of summer. Right? They were not holy men, or women. Right? They practiced divination. Right? As Henry Boone wrote in 1725, as Salakia for as both December and January were called Guli or Yule, upon account of the sun's returning and the increase of the days. So I am amped to believe the log has had a name of Yule log from its being burnt as a emblem of the returning sun and the increase of its light and heat. It says uh, Lucy, when Lucy and I lived in Stat, Statenac, Germany, her and Mula led us up to a mountainside deep into the Franconian Franconian forest on Christmas Eve in 1986, where our community had covered a pine tree with candles. We sang carols and he read aloud several Bible verses, right? So this is not a custom of YAHAWAHSHI, even though they incorporate the Bible into their pagan religions, right? He says he later told me that in ancient times, the Germans would set the tallest tree afire to reunite the sun and bring back longer days, right? Saturnalia, right? Goes back to Saturnalia, or a lot of pagan customs in this December, January event. January and December is a lot of these pagan religions combined together, right? This certain with the shortest day of the year and being able to identify when the sun would begin to lengthen the days, heralding the return of the growing season and food, probably accounts for the calendar stone arrangement found across every northern hemisphere continent. The most recent was found under 40 feet of water in Lake Michigan and dated back 9,000 years. It says many traditions that tie Christmas back to the earlier pagan European religions it's co-opted still exists. It says Christmas carols, for example, started out as a pagan winter ceremony called wassailing to help fruit trees survive the winter and ensure a good harvest the following year. By the Middle Age, it had turned into a Christmas-associated version of trick or treat, where poor people would sing a song and demand money or food from their wealthy neighbors. As British historian and jurist John Selden, 1985 to 65, wrote, Welches by the wassels at New Year's tide present you with a cup, and you must drink of the slabby stuff. But the meaning is you must give them money. So all this is like pagan root. This American Christmas caroling, it says associated with trick or treating. You know, it's just a custom that the people, the other nations, these pagan customs that the other nations practice, and it all transform into this modern day this modern day Christmas that people celebrate today, but it has pagan roots, and some of them are still practiced today, like Christmas caroling. You know, for example, the tree, that's the lighting of putting the lights on the tree, is basically symbolizing setting the tree ablaze. You know, this all goes back to paganism, these pagan religions. It says, which gave further ammunition to Oliver Cromwell in justifying his 1646 ban on Christmas celebrations. Some argue he's been reincarnated as a Texas Republican politician. The reincarnation is real, right? So another European tradition has to do with mistletoe. One of the few plants that actually stays alive and bears fruit through the winter because its ability to deify the dark days. It was thought to increase fertility and put in the beds of couples hoping to conceive. From this came the traditions of kissing on the mistletoe. See? Pagan roots. The mistletoe, pagan roots, right? Christmas itself is supposed to be the celebration of the birth of what they call Jesus, right? Or YAHAWAHSHI, right? But if you match up the times of events associated with his birth, it's a virtual certainty. It wasn't in the winter, but indigenous people from every northern hemisphere continent had shamanic ceremonies and celebrations associated with pushing back the winter darkness and returning the sun to full illumination. Early Christian governments, seeing it was impossible to stamp out those holidays and celebrations, simply overlaid them with the Christ story, bringing us the celebration and traditions we have today. See, the early Christian government, seeing it was impossible to stamp out these holidays and these pagan holidays and ceremonies, just overlaid it with the birth of Christ, right? For example, Norwegians tell the story of their 10th century king Haakon the Good, who'd been raised as a Christian in England and wanted to bring that religion to his homeland. The Norwegian historian Snorri Sturluson wrote in his book, um, Heimskringla, Story of the King of Norway. Let me see. He had it established in the laws that the Yule celebration was to take place at the same time as the custom with the Christians. For millennia, across the European Arctic Circle around the North Pole, some Scandinavia, northern pole from Scandinavia through Siberia, indigenous shamans sought out red and white mushrooms, Amenata muscaria, and dried them in socks, hanging them from their places, right? The stockings hanging from the fireplaces, right? The mushrooms contain a powerful psychedelic muscimol, but are also laced with compounds poisonous to humans. Reindeer, however, love to eat these mushrooms, and when they do, they behave oddly, as if their names were Dancer and Prancer, right? Their reindeer livers metabolizes and thus neutralize the compounds that poison humans, but leave the psychedelic muscimol largely untouched. Thus, reindeer urine on fresh snow is powerfully psychedelic. Arctic shamans around this time of the year will leave batches of dry amanta mushrooms out in the snow for the hungry reindeer who consider them delicacies. The shamans will then follow the reindeer as they danced and played high on the shrooms, gathering the fresh yellow snow to make it into a holiday gog. So what is gog? So look, from the trees, from the caroling to the stockings hanging on the fireplace, all of it's all go back to paganism. It's Gog. It says spirits originally rum mixed with water, alcoholic drink, especially beer. So I guess they would drink this, the ice cream, what is it? The snow cones. You get I guess that's where it comes from. Even all this thing, look, even the snow cones, go back to pagan. It's holiday Gog, right? It says the Shermans will start back here, right? Snow cones. It says the Shermans would then follow the reindeer as they danced and played high on the shrooms, gather the fresh yellow snow to make into a holiday Gog. So basically, the snow cones, right? even that goes back. They used to drink the reindeer urine and get high off of it. All right. This was also the time of the year that the father of the gods of Norse religion, the long white bearded Odin, would ride his 8-legged horses, Sleipnir's pronounced Sleipnir's bringing good people small gifts made of Odin's men in Asgard, his Arctic retreat. The story seemed to have morphed as it traveled out of Norway to Sweden, from men to elves, and from eight-legged and from 8 legs to 8 reindeers, right? So they just changed it over the years, over the centuries or whatever. It changed it, and like I was saying, but earlier, it's what it is today, But it's all has pagan origin. They changed it and tweaked it, like these devils try to do now. They say, oh, okay, we gonna take that out. We're gonna take that out. We just do it this way, These devils, man. Like when you find out the truth, then these devils acting like they want to tweak it, like it says, like they said in the beginning paragraph, right? Like they said in the beginning paragraph, it says religions tweaks, right? That's what they do. They try to tweak something, change it when they expose these devils to try to keep it going. They try to tweak it, act like, okay, we're gonna take this out and do it this way, and to try to justify and celebrating these pagan customs. They act like it's just there's no harm in So basically, it's all relates from the snow cone, from all of it. Trying to keep remind us even from the Santa Claus character, uh, the Christmas caroling, the trees, the tree being having lights on it is from them setting the tallest tree on fire, the mistletoe, the stockings hanging from the fireplace, from the snow cones that hey, you get a snow cone, get snow and put some what they use, put some type of flavoring on the snow cone. All that goes back to paganism, right? It's telling a whole lot in this article, all right? From the 8-legged reindeer, Odin, the sleigh. This Odin controlled the powers of thunder and lightning, Donner and Blitzen, in today's dramatic and Scandinavian language. Look, Donner and Blitzen. Wow. Let's see. Thunder and lightning, Donner and Blitzen. Wow. It's a lot in this paragraph, in this article. I mean, there are also multiple goddesses connected to this holiday. Reindeer in the Santa story, as Judith Shaw documents here. The indigenous people of northern Scandinavia and the Siami believe that when the sun, characterized as a female deity named Bawi, went dim in the winter, she was sick. They put fat over their doorways to nourish Bawi and bring the sun back to its full glory. They also sacrificed white reindeer in the hope of ceremony will revive Bawi. When white reindeer weren't available, they sacrificed other animals decorated with white ribbons. The reindeer's favorite food, the Aman, 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 Am, Amanati, Amanati, Salakia. Mushrooms look like the clothing shamans and Santa wore, red with white trim and white spots. Their rooting, you could call them chubby. Thus, Santa represents the mushrooms in Arctic cultural lore. Wow, wow, that's a lot, man. You know, it tells a whole lot here. I'm gonna go and read this because it's kind of lengthy. It says, manatees grow under the pine trees. The mushrooms, right, grow under the pine trees because they're mycorrhizae of fungal filaments that extend under the underground, transport minerals from the soil into the roots of the pine trees, who return the favor by transporting carbohydrates from year-round photosynthesis and their needles uh, back down through their roots into the myocardiae to nourish the mushrooms. Manatees are only found under pine and spruce trees because of their symbolic relationships that keep them both healthy. And to this day, pine and spruce are pretty much the only tree. So like it says, and to this day, pine and spruce are pretty much the only trees we use to decorate our homes this time of year. Right, while Christmas Eve was the darkest of times in the Northern Hemisphere, it also held the greatest promise for the entire new year to come. Indigenous European and Sabians, shamans, and their communities would light their pine trees with candles, put a lights symbolizing the North Star, identifying the axis around which our world revolves atop their trees, and consume their reindeer's yellow snow drinks on these darkest nights, right? Lighting up the trees, putting candles, you know, on the tree and the star on the top, right? Drinking the snow cones, right? The urine from the reindeer, psychedelic urine from the reindeer, snow cones. Intoxicated or allowed to enter the spiritual realm by that manatees psychedelics from the reindeer urine. These ancient shamans use the power of spirit and nature to fly into the sky to visit the spirit world and resurrect the longer and warmer days of their people, bringing back the gifts of spiritual illumination, healing, and the renewal of life. Several of the modern several of our modern religions, including Judaism, Christianity, hold these survival and renewal of light and life at the core of their winter solstice. Yes, winter solstice holiday, holy days, right? Because the Bible don't, Christianity, which is not of the Bible, or this Judaism, which is not the Bible, is something they incorporate. These Edomites incorporated into the Bible. Winter solstice holidays. It's not a festival or holy day in the Bible. It says during these short and dark days and long nights, let's remember this ancient knowledge that illumination always follow darkness, and that we endowed with love and compassion, we shall relight our nation and lives. Whatever, Mary, whatever, regards for whatever you are celebrating, not during this holy and transformational season. So, no. So basically, that's it. So it tells you, So this article has a lot of information. Uh, that all these traditions, even from the snow cone, the Santa Claus character, the reindeer, the tree being lights with light on the tree itself, the evergreen tree, uh, the trees, putting the lights on the trees and the candle, the snow cone, the stockings hanging by the chimney. Yeah, I know I'm missing something. The mistletoe, all of that's pagan. It tells you right here, it has pagan origin. So I just read Leviticus 20, right? We all that the Lord said, don't follow these shamans, which are they practice divination, wizards, sorcerers, right? Says don't follow after these sorcerers. Leviticus the 20th chapter is talking about you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. These are the traditions of the nations, the other nations, the heathens that we are supposed to follow. Now I'm gonna go to Jeremiah. I'm gonna end it off on Jeremiah chapter 10. This is Jeremiah 10 and 1. It says, hear ye the word which the Lord Yahawah spake unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord Yahawah, learn not the way of the heathen, and be this not, learn not the way of the heathen, which is the point. Be not dismayed of the signs of the heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands, and the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. Right? So that's the Christmas tree, right? Silver and gold, right? We just read it out of the article too. They put lights on it. They just tweak it as time progresses. They tweak these pagan religions to meet whatever suits them best at the time. They add it, subtract it, change it, tweak it. Jeremiah 10 and 1 out of the Amplified version. It says, hear the word which the Lord Yahweh spake unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, do not learn the way of the pagan nations, and do not be terrified and distressed by the signs of the heavens, although the pagans are terrified of them. And that you can relate that to these so-called it's the UFOs, but they got these drones up there too. The reason why they got these drones up there, because they are dismayed, meaning they're troubled. They're terrified at the sights, at the sightings of what they call UFOs. You know, they're terrified. That's why they got these drones up there trying to see what's going on. Which there's video out there that these so-called UFOs, which they are chariots of the YAHAWAHSHI, shooting these drones down. So these nations are terrified at these events in the heavens, right? Which the Lord said we shouldn't be terrified or distressed at these sightings in the heavens. Although the pagans are terrified by them, for the customs and the decrees of the people, mere delusions, exercise in fertility. See, look, for the customs and decrees of the people are mere delusions, exercises of fertility. See, that's what they were saying. They trying to bring life back. Fertility. Futile. Oh, Salakia. I said that wrong. Futility is meaning futile. Salakia. I said fertility. I don't know why I seen the R for some reason. Pointless or useless. Salakia. It's without it's futile. I mean, it's pointless. Salakia. I don't know why I seen the R. R for some reason. For the customs. Salakia about that. For the customs and decrees of the peoples are mere delusions and exercise of futility. It is only wood which one cuts from the forest to make a guide to work the work of the hands of the craftsman with the axe or cutting tool. They adorn the idol with silver and gold. They fasten it with hammers and nails so that it will not fall apart. Right? So, no, that's the Christmas tree. You know, that goes back to a pagan, that has pagan root. So I'm gonna go and end it off there. Hope it's edifying to the elect. I want to say, call Halayim La YAHAWAHSHI, YAHWAHSHI Bashem, Rakakadash. Shalom till next time, Yahweh Rakazah, which means Lord willing, and Why Ba Babo.